Dating as a single mom, the scary stats. This episode with 42-year-old Kate is not to make you scared of dating. Quite the contrary, it is to give you great information, not only on how to date as a single mom, but why it's so important that you know the stats we get to. Kate is a very strong single mom of 3, and she knows all too well through her own childhood and what she has dealt with in her marriage and in the last few years in a situationship. What are the issues at hand when dating as a single mom? We get to them. We get to how you navigate them so that you get all the info you need as a single mom to do dating right, both organically and online. We get to all that in this episode with Kate. So listen, learn, and level up with this interesting and informative episode with single mom Kate.
I feel like you've gotten me unstuck. I really needed that framework for going forward, and I feel like you gave that to me.
Whatever I've been doing hasn't been working. Might as well try a different strategy. Thanks to you, Paula. I'm glad I found you.
Thank you so much, Paula. I really do truly appreciate you. This was awesome.
Sick of sacrificing or settling in your romantic life? Welcome to Make Him Wonder with Coach Paula Grooms, where women struggling in real relationships ask the expert. Unscripted, unfiltered, understandable coaching conversations to help passionate women succeed in love.
Hi there, and welcome to Make Him Wonder. I'm your host, Coach Paula, a dating and relationship coach, licensed social worker, and author of the book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. I coach you to find a potential Mr. Right, get an ex back, or grow an existing relationship with a man you truly desire, and learn how to inspire his continued interest for the relationship of your dreams so that you level up to the complete commitment you totally deserve. My guest today is 42-year-old Kate. Kate is a return guest, a single mom of 3 children under the age of 16, and she is not looking to get married or live with a man until after the children are off to college. While Kate does want a long-term commitment, she wonders about sharing a home with a man until her children are grown. Kate says she knows a lot of women in her situation and comes on Make Him Wonder in hopes that I can answer her questions, such as, how much involvement, if any, should a romantic partner I'm not married or engaged to have in my children's lives? Is it ever okay for men to spend the night when children are home? Does your girlfriend law of diminishing returns mean that a relationship would be doomed if I met someone in the next few years? And should I just put dating on the back burner until my kids are older? Great questions. I love them. And I welcome back Kate. Hey, Kate.
Hi, Paula.
So good to have you back. We talked about, a year ago?
I think so.
At that time, tell me what we were talking about. Was it a particular man?
Yes, I was involved with someone casually. It was, I guess you could call it a friends with benefits situation, but we were very, very close. And his reasoning for why we couldn't be together was that he always cheats on his girlfriends, which I witnessed, and that he is never able to commit, which I also witnessed. He would get bored and move on after a few months or a year. So he said the best he could offer me was being close friends, and I took him up on that because I was feeling very unsure about whether I should be dating seriously at this stage of my life anyway. So I decided to go along with that and enjoy that. But I ended up feeling just like I was always second place because he would date other women seriously and let them think they were exclusive. He was just very unhealthy, and I just needed to get out of there. So it took me a while. I think I went no contact with him a couple of times, but it finally stuck. I finally got tired of it, and he's been out of the picture now for a little while.
Great. How have you been doing since then?
I've been doing well, I think, because even though I had gone back and forth for quite a while, about 3 years, I finally got to a place where I was tired of it. My attachment to him no longer outweighed the way that I was being treated and the negative feelings I had. I don't know if you've heard the expression, but I got the ick. Like I suddenly just felt like everything was icky having to do with him, and I just wanted the whole friendship and relationship to be over, and I wanted to walk away. And so I did. And ever since I got that feeling, I have not had any regret at all. I've had some anxious moments, but nothing like I used to feel. I have no urge to rekindle anything.
Wonderful. That's great to hear. Typically, we hear the ick in terms of meeting somebody for the first time when you're just dating, like from online dating or something, and there's some kind of ick. But this is really good to have when you've been treated like you said in this relationship and gotten out of it. That's actually a great thing to feel because it really does move you on quickly.
Yes, that feeling gave me the closure I needed.
For sure. That's wonderful. So these questions are coming up now. Is there someone new?
There is not someone new. I think one of the reasons I hung on to that situation for so long was because I felt so unsure about dating in general, unsure if it should really be part of my life as far as looking for something serious. So I thought that I should just enjoy something casual because I didn't know what dating seriously would look like as someone who doesn't want to get married or engaged or live with someone for probably 8 years because I have young kids at home. But now that he's out of the picture, I feel like it would be good for me to have those thoughts organized as far as what a healthy dating life would look like and what a healthy relationship would look like for me going forward. I think now that I'm out of that situation, I would like to have a good idea in my head of what it would look like to have a healthy relationship that could be successful at some point in the next 8 years. I don't want to have to wait and be completely single if I meet someone that I like. I'm just not sure how to go about that.
Great. I love the questions you're asking. I want every single mom with young children at home to be thinking along these lines. I was thrilled when I saw this intro for you that you were asking these kinds of questions because it is so important not only for you going into any kind of new relationship to set those boundaries right from the outset, but most significantly for your kids.
Yeah.
Because there is a statistic, Kate, the statistic is quite shocking about children being abused.
Mm-hmm.
When a single parent finds a new partner. There was an article in March of 2019. This is according to the 2016 U.S. Census, our last census. At that time, 2016, nearly 25% of children in America live with a single parent, usually their mother. And the statistic is child abuse is 40 times more likely when a single parent finds a new partner, and this is most definitely when a single mom brings an unrelated adult male into the home.
Yes, and I won't go into detail, but my sibling and I experienced that growing up, and both of us from different people. And I think that has made me extra sensitive. I have a daughter, and she's my youngest child. That's one of the major reasons I can't imagine getting married or having a man live with us until she's grown up, because no matter how wonderful he is, it would always be in the back of my mind.
I understand. I completely understand. And it is wise for any single mom to be thinking along these lines. This article is actually called The Philly Voice, meaning Philadelphia. Elania Gill, clinical director for the National Abuse Prevention Group, Child Help, says it comes down to the fact the male coming into the home or other partner coming into the home doesn't have a established relationship with the children. Their primary interest is the adult partner, and they find themselves more irritated when there's a problem with the children. I would also go out on a limb and say that there's something biological and anthropological. We as humans are much more adept at protecting our own children first and foremost. And when someone comes into the home unrelated, they don't have that same bonding and that same need to love and care for those children. They just don't. She goes on to say that children of divorce and later remarriage are twice as likely to academically, behaviorally, and socially struggle as children of first marriage families. So there's already a propensity for the children to struggle, and then bringing someone else into the home can exacerbate that. According to a Missouri-based study of children living in homes with unrelated adults, children are, quote, nearly 50 times as likely to die of inflicted injuries as children living with two biological parents. These are worrying statistics, both disturbing and scary. This is in an article of Child Abuse and Other Risks of Not Living with Both Parents, published in Ethology and Sociobiology, Martin Daly and Margot Wilson. If parents find new partners, children are 40 times more likely than those who live with biological parents to be sexually or physically abused. So you, having been in a situation like this, know all too well it is a cautionary tale for any single mom. Now, this doesn't mean, however, that you cannot have a relationship. And I coach women on how to do that when they do have young children.
Yes, that is what I am ready to learn.
So, first and foremost is it ever okay for men or a man to spend the night when children are home? This, I think, is important whether your children are anything past an infant, whereby they are sleeping in another room and would be sound asleep and have no idea that there's anyone else in the house. Anything past that, I would say no. This is my opinion as a social worker, as also a coach for women, wanting a man to see you as someone worthy of committing to. It's very important that he sees you in a light of you being a mama bear and protecting your children over and above him and catering to him.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
It will always win you points, even if he doesn't much like it in the moment. In other words, it's going to keep you from seeing each other as much as you would otherwise. That's a given. But most typically, women have a father figure that is taking the children a certain amount of time at some point. What's your status? Are you divorced from their father, and what's the custody, if so?
Yes, I am divorced from their father. He is remarried and they live almost 2 hours away. So he sees the kids every other weekend. They're supposed to go there. But my oldest, who's 15, does not like to go anymore. They don't get along very well, and he doesn't get along with his stepmother. So he maybe goes once a month. Sometimes it's less than that.
I see. So this would pose certainly some restrictions on you. However, would you, if you were dating, feel comfortable leaving your younger children with your older one if you were going out on a date, say?
Yes, absolutely. They're all old enough to stay home for a little while. So going out on a date is completely fine. It's just that I'm almost never alone in my house.
So for me, it prompts the discussion of introducing children to anyone you're dating. And I am on the right side of the scale with this for the children's sake. I don't believe that any children under the age of, say, 16, And of course, this is a little fluid, but generally speaking, I don't believe that children should be entered into any of mom's dating life, meeting anyone she's involved with at all, until she knows that this is going to go the distance, meaning go to engagement, if not already engagement and marriage.
Mm-hmm. I have listened to a lot of your podcasts, and I completely understand and support that. And I wonder how that would work for me if I met someone and he and I wanted to be together long term, but that wasn't going to be for a number of years as far as marriage or living together. So I think that's where I get stuck.
Yes, understood. Because you're very young at 42.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe, Kate, if you meet the right man, he will honor you, like I said, for protecting your children over and above him. And the no rush kind of relationship feeling he will get if he falls in love with you will not be an issue. Unless, and I want to go over this for you, you meet someone your age, or say he's 39 or even 45, and he wants to have children.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
That is not on the table for me. That would be a deal breaker.
I see. Okay. So you're looking for someone who either doesn't want children or has them already.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you meet a man who already has children, that means he's likely a single dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that means, generally speaking, and any good man is like this, his children will come first.
Yes, hopefully so.
Right. Have you met any single dads?
So I have. I did some online dating a few years ago before I got into the casual situationship. And I did meet a few single dads, including the person I was involved with on and off for those 3 years. But his children were grown in their 20s.
And how did that go when you dated with your kids?
That went fine. I honestly met some nice people, and the single dads I'm thinking of that I did go on some dates with, I never met their children. It seemed like, they might have to change plans once in a while because of their kids, which I respected and liked about them, honestly. I wouldn't want them to put me before their children. So it went fine. And I never dated anyone long enough to even get to a conversation about me meeting their children or anything like that.
And that's an interesting point. When you say long enough, what time frame are you thinking about? Because generally we have this certain time frame in mind. Like I would date somebody for however long, a certain amount of months before I would even mention anything about it. Or maybe I'd bring it up on the third date. What's in your mind about it?
As far as meeting each other's children?
Yes, and mostly about you presenting to the man how you have decided to date with children.
I see. That's a good question. I would think that by the fourth or fifth date, we probably would have gotten to know each other on a surface level and maybe started talking about what we're looking for in a general sense.
Right. And ergo, how do you bring up if a man were to ask you, well, do you ever want to get married again?
I think I haven't been asked that question. Actually, I think I was asked that question back when I first got divorced and was dating. And at that time, I think I said, no, I don't want to. I was still feeling pretty traumatized by my marriage and divorce. I probably said something like, no, I don't want to get married again, but you never know. And these days, now that some time has passed and I feel much more healed, I would say, yes, I'm open to marrying the right person once my kids have grown and left the house.
And I think you're on the right track, but it's really taking into account how the man asks it and when, a la you getting information first. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you meet someone from online, say he's 50 and he's been divorced for a while and he has children mid-20s, and he's looking to get married again. If it were someone really right, if you could date him, eventually you could get engaged, and he could meet your children, certainly not be staying over, but meet them to know that this is something he could do. Would you be okay with an engagement in, say, 5 years or so, knowing that you're together and eventually you'd be married?
Yes, that would be my ideal situation, would be to meet someone, to date for quite a while, to eventually get to that point where we know we want to get married one day, and at that point to have him meet my children and be involved with us, not every day and not living here, but be involved to some extent and to make plans to get married and move in together once they've all gone to college. That would be amazing. I would love that.
And I think that's absolutely possible for you. And I think that that is something that you want to put in your mind, that you will have, that you'll manifest that.
It's hard for me to even say that's what I want because I'm so afraid that it can't happen.
Okay, I'm here to tell you how important it is for you to avow it each and every day. That's what manifesting is all about. And that's part of what we need to do to bring forth and materialize the relationship we want with the man we want. I am meeting a man who I'm going to marry. I am having a wonderful relationship, connected, committed, engaged, and having that while my kids are here, and once they move out, be married and live happily forever with each other. You want to be putting it in your mind that you will get all that you desire and deserve. Because if you can't conceptualize it, it's very hard to materialize it.
Yes. I think that my experience dating and then seeing this person on and off gave me some negative beliefs toward that, because he and the other people I dated seemed to really be in a hurry to jump into things feet first, not necessarily getting married, but wanting to spend every day together, wanting to combine families. Someone even said that to me on the first date, that they would like to take all our kids on vacation together, being frustrated that I wasn't free, multiple nights in a row. So I got the feeling that there were a lot of men out there who weren't going to have the patience or the independence to enjoy a relationship with me in a balanced way while I have kids at home, and so I just gave up.
I understand. I'm sorry you had that experience. That's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like you heeded the red flag.
Yes.
Good. One thing you want to think about is that we as humans tend to take a single experience and then extrapolate it to an all degree. And that's no more true about all men than all men don't want a committed relationship. Some men do, some men don't. So they, or one or two who did that, just weren't right. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings up the question that you had of, does my girlfriend law of diminishing returns mean that a relationship would be doomed if it was over the course of years?
Yes, that is my big question.
It's a good one, and if you've seen my video about that, and anyone who's questioning might want to go and see that on YouTube, I call it my girlfriend law of diminishing returns, because many women will continue on giving and giving and giving to a man in a girlfriend-boyfriend situation, and hurt themselves by not allowing for the man to wonder through the giving too much, show too much of a willingness to continue on and not receive. But you see, if you go into something showing that I'm doing this for a purpose greater than myself, and it's not just about me and you are the governor on the engine of it, which I think automatically there would be because you're not going to be able to spend a whole heck of a lot of time together. I don't think you have to worry about that as much.
Okay.
In other words, if you didn't have your children at home, say all your kids are out of school already, even though, they're in college already or out of the house, and you started seeing a man and you had no timeline, you just kept seeing him and you saw him 4 or 5 nights a week, you were at his beck and call, you were joined at the hip, so to speak, then that law might be at play. Do you see the difference?
I see. Yes, I do.
That's really what it's about.
Okay.
Yeah. Good, because you deserve to have male companionship. And tell me first, your marriage, was it at all satisfying and happy?
No, unfortunately. When we got married, we were best friends. We were on the same page. Things were great. Basically, as soon as I got pregnant, it was like a switch flipped and started becoming very emotionally abusive, and it just cycled on and on and on for years. And I didn't really understand what was happening, but by the time I left, he had been diagnosed with some significant psychological issues, and I had to get a restraining order and hide with my kids for about 3 weeks.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and he was not allowed to see them unsupervised for a year until he received mental health care.
Wow, okay, that's tough.
So, yes, it was very traumatizing. And I was encouraged by the counselor I was seeing to start dating right away when the divorce was final. And I was just, yes, and her reasoning was, you are not attached to him anymore. So it's not like you still love him or anything. So you should go out and meet other people and see what you like, see what you don't like. But I was completely unprepared in every way to be dating.
Yeah, I'm shocked to hear this.
Yeah, I feel like it was bad advice. I was separated for a year before the divorce was final, but it was a horrible year of a lot of fear, a lot of harassment, a lot of, awful things were happening. He was fired for harassing people at work during that time and had to move out of town. So, yeah, when the divorce was final, I was hanging by a thread. But I took her advice, and I was just not ready. So after 18 months of doing that, I stopped, and I just sort of ended up in the situation that I told you about on and off for 3 years up until a couple of months ago.
I see. Well, I'm glad you're out of that. And I get very disheartened hearing that kind of thing. The last thing you needed to be doing at that time was dating and getting other men involved in your life, because that just makes it all the more confusing. You just needed to heal and settle.
That's actually one of my other questions, because I just, ended this situation a couple of months ago. I wonder if, psychologically speaking, I really just need to take some time to myself without even thinking about dating. I would like to have this framework in place in case I met someone, but I don't know that I feel prepared to go out looking online, because I feel like I went right from that to this situation, and now I'm finally out of it. And if I am going to date again, I want to be prepared, but I don't know, psychologically speaking, does it seem like it would be smarter to just focus on myself for a while?
This is always a tough question because everyone's different. I heard something about it that would lend me to give you an answer of, I think you could. But then there are also many things about it where I think that waiting will certainly work in your favor. And the former, what I heard was that you took this relationship to its absolute conclusion whereby you actually felt either revulsion from it. Is that the case?
Yes, I feel revolted by this version of him and by what he can offer me right now. I know that theoretically it's possible that he, could change in the future, decide on his own that he wanted to change and come back. However, I've known him for long enough and well enough to know that he's a deeply troubled person. I would say like a damaged consumer to the highest degree. And I think the likelihood of him changing is extremely low. And if it was going to happen, it would be years from now. So it's not even in my awareness to be, for example, manifesting him to come back, saying all the right things.
Great. So that is why I would say that, you could date, because it's not like you're harboring feelings of love and longing for him.
Mm-hmm.
However, it depends how negatively you feel about him morphing it over to like men in general and not trusting.
Ooh, that's a good question. I definitely feel that I have some major distrust of men in general because of him, because of my ex, because of the things I see my girlfriends going through who are trying to date online. There's just a lot of that in my awareness right now, and I've noticed that. And I want to get rid of it, but it's definitely been on my mind that I feel extremely wary of men in general and their intentions.
So I have an opinion about this that I want to share, and I think it can encompass not closing yourself off and certainly dating, but not going whole hog either, if that makes sense. And I want to tell you about that, and I want to give that to you how I see it. Let's do that in a moment. I trust you're enjoying Make Him Wonder, and that you're getting a lot of helpful information for the life of love you desire and deserve. So if you're not part of the 80/20 Wonder Club yet, you need to be, because now Make Him Wonder is exclusive, a members-only club to listen to every episode, past, present, and future, in full, all ad-free. The 80/20 Wonder Club is a Make Him Wonder membership that gives you all of seasons 1, 2, and 3 in a categorized list by age and relationship status, and a multimedia library of my content, including my book, Relationship Evals, and my Mechanics of Men Mindset Manual, a weekly action step you can focus on to attract and keep the man of your dreams, and have him committing to you completely in the coming months. Make this the moment you start living as an 80/20 Wonder Woman, because love, like life, is best lived in 80/20. When you do 80% of what works with men, the 20% you don't won't much matter. Join the 80/20 Wonder Club by going to the 8020wonder.club. Don't miss out. Go now to the 8020wonder.club. You and your man will be glad you did. So not going whole hog doesn't mean that you can't be open to dating and to make some attempts that are more towards organically dating rather than online.
I like that idea.
Great, because make no mistake, you have to be ready for online.
Mm-hmm.
It is a dating genre of its own, for sure. If you were ready, I would absolutely suggest to you my One Love self-help course to do online dating in a way that guides a man in a feminine way towards talking, meeting, dates, and follow through. And for anyone who is ready to online date, it's so helpful because then it becomes formulaic and you don't have to second guess what you're doing. However, make no mistake, you need to be doing it whole hog. In other words, casual online dating doesn't work. And what I mean by casual means that you cannot log on once a week and expect that A, you're either not going to be overwhelmed, or B, not see any fruits of your labor or investment in it or anything at all. And it just becomes a time suck and is more towards sucking than being great, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I definitely do not feel ready to start online dating. I feel ready to crack the door toward being open to dating and meeting someone, but not to actively looking online. I feel very stressed when I think about that.
Right. And that's exactly what I don't want for you. We have to be really on top of our game to do online. I'll give you an analogy. It's kind of like needing a new job. In other words, if you just think, I might want a new job, and you go casually looking at what's out there, likely you are not going to be getting the job of your dreams anytime soon, because what we focus on we get more of, and how much we put into something typically predicates the result. So you need to do online in a very mindful, focused, and directed way. And it's why in the course I suggest you do it in spurts, but you need to focus for a particular amount of time, say a month. Even shorter spurts are okay. And there's a reason why that is very helpful, not only psychologically for you as the woman in terms of your time and attention, but also because when you come on and off of a site, meaning hide your profile or put it public, you also help yourself in terms of the algorithms. So one of the reasons why just doing it casually doesn't work is because online dating works in the same way algorithmically as social media. The algorithms are very attuned to wanting to keep people on the platform, connecting. It is the same in online dating. So the people who are on the most and active get the best prospects put in front of them.
Oh.
Yeah, think about it. If a woman who is like you in age, where she lives, very, very similar in your area, and she's interacting with men, she's going to be pumped out in front of the best prospects.
Okay, I see.
So you can't really do it half-heartedly when you do it, but if you do it in spurts when you do it, and then be sure to hide your profile if you're not active, because that alerts the site, algorithm, the app, you're not looking. And then when you come up again, right, when you make it public, you want to put a new picture as your main picture, and it's like you are new.
Okay.
And then you're pumped out in front of the best prospects again, like you're new.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Think of it as online is like a huge party of single adults in your age group. And someone comes in and there are 1,000 people at the party. Well, after an hour or so, that person has seen a lot of people who are at the party. Not everybody, but a lot. If he or she walks around enough, she sees a lot of the people there. When someone new comes in, it's immediately sparked, oh, somebody new, correct?
Right.
And there's interest. That's how you want to think about it. You want to be that new person that comes in with the flash. Somebody's walking in. Let's all look at who's walking in now. And that's kind of what the algorithms do. So you don't want to do it when you're not ready. And online dating is kind of like being ready in an athletic endeavor. You kind of have to really be at the top of your game.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of swings are going to come at you, and you have to be ready for it. Organic dating is quite different, meaning you are out and about, you live your life, and you remain very open to meeting many people. For example, you go to a Pilates class or yoga or whatever, and it's all women there. Well, be open with them. Yeah, I'm single and I would like to meet somebody organically. Somebody in the locker room says, oh yeah, my husband's friend is looking to meet someone and he doesn't want to go online. Something like that. Okay. Places of worship, groups. I also recommend, if you want to meet someone organically, do something that you might have some interest in learning about it that men like. For example, men go to financial seminars. They go to estate planning things. They do real estate seminars, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The gym, not the best place to be meeting someone. The gym is more like a work environment. Men are less apt to date someone from their gym. However, if you can, you typically go every morning before work. Well, likely you're going to see the same people. They are going to see you. And again, it's like dating someone from work. You are there. That's your gym. They see you every day. Men are not very inclined, at least not the ones that have some sense about them, to date from that group. However, if on an occasional weeknight after 7, whereby you would not be able to go on any kind of regular basis, you can go because your kids are at their grandparents or something like that, or you just need to get out of the house. That's maybe a time because you don't go and you can't go typically on any kind of regular basis. For example, you go at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night, the gym closes at 10, at 9 o'clock, somebody comes up to you and he says something, oh, are you new to the gym? I've never seen you here before. Actually, I am a member, but I can never come at this time. I always come in the morning. Well, now he knows that obviously you live there because it's your gym, so you live near there, but he doesn't have to worry that he's going to be running into you on any regular basis. Because people are always thinking if it doesn't work out, any kind of religious activities. There's also a group, I don't know how active they are anymore, but it was called Parents Without Partners.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Meetup groups are great, but you're a mom of 3, you're pretty busy.
Right.
But if your kids are in sports, are you meeting men, any other single dads at games or anything like that?
Not yet, but I'm sure eventually will with 3 kids.
Yeah. So, yes, just be open and affirm for yourself. I am open to meeting, to engaging with men in social situations. I look forward to meeting new people. I am meeting new people. I enjoy meeting new people.
Yeah, it is a big step for me. I like that idea.
Good. I hope that answers your last question of should you just put dating on the back burner until your kids are older?
Yes, it does. Because that version sounds manageable to me. And yeah, that sounds manageable to me, especially for the next few years. And I may change my mind and want to pursue online after that. But right now, I don't feel ready, and it's very reassuring to know you feel like it's realistic to kind of take a middle road.
Absolutely realistic and balanced. There may be a time whereby you are ready to do online, again, in spurts. For example, there may be a summer when your kids are away. That could be a good time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad that doing it in spurts works, because that is how my life is sometimes. Because I work in a school, I have summers off, and so I do have a lot more time in the summer, and my kids usually do go away for a couple of weeks, things like that, or over Christmas. And I've had points during those vacations when they're away when I think, oh, I guess maybe I do have time to get online and try to date, but then a week or two later, it's back to reality.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt you to do it in that way. It's just that you have to be quite discerning and judicious in a sense. You must think about it in a 2-week chunk, meet, quote unquote, meaning text back and forth with a few prospects. And when you get to that point, you want then to make meetings. And in the One Love Self-Help course, I show you how to guide the man to making a first phone call so that he introduces himself to you, what to say to get that to happen, then how to decide on that phone call if you want to meet, where to make that meeting. And you want to do that for just a few men and then hide your profile and shut it down. Meet them, and that's it.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that, because I was so overwhelmed the last time, having no strategy.
It can be very overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Yes, so when you get to that point. But for right now, you also want to be, Kate, working on your own programming of what love is, because you've had some traumatic experiences.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that, but I still have a ways to go, I think.
Do the sleep meditations I recommend, Jessica Heslop, Jason Stevenson, there are so many others in the I Am form. Also do journaling of positive affirmations and what you want.
Okay.
Manifesting techniques and strategies and ideology of people that will make you feel very positive, like Dylan James, Naya, Sylvia Nuccio, Simply Create with Elle, knowing that you can have what you want and your future is bright and filled with abundance and love and everything that you want.
Yes, I listen to Dylan James a lot, and that has been extremely helpful.
Yes, especially if you are coming off of something that was less than positive. He can be so uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. And then, like I said, when you're ready, then do the self-help course. With it, you get a full coaching intensive with me, whereby you can ask me any questions. And I think that is best done when you go through the course and you've met someone and gone on a number of dates and it's going well. There's no urgency here for you at all.
Thank goodness.
And I say that because it can feel like there is, even when consciously we know there's no rush here. There's no rush to anything.
Right.
But I believe every single mom deserves to have a good relationship that is supportive, fulfilling, and you will have it because you've got such a good head on your shoulders and you know not only what is good for you, but also for your children. Any man worth his salt will be so happy to know that he can trust you because of how you are protecting your children.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense to men because men know men.
Yeah.
And a good man will recognize that he can't pull the wool over your eyes right off the bat because you know what's going on. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, really great. I'm so glad that you got out of this other relationship and you sound very balanced to me in how you're looking at things. I like it.
thank you. That's very reassuring. I felt like I was on the right track, but I really needed that reassurance and that framework for going forward, and I feel like you gave that to me, which is exactly what I needed.
Yay. You're absolutely welcome. It was wonderful to talk to you again. And I trust that a year from now, because it was about a year ago, we will talk again and you will have something really wonderful to tell us in terms of you've met someone special.
That would be exciting. I hope so too. I feel much better. I felt very stuck as far as how to proceed. So I feel like you've gotten me unstuck, and that's exactly what I needed.
I think so. I really think so for you. So thank you for coming on today. Thanks again.
Yes. Okay, I hope to talk to you again with some good news in the future.
I know you will be. I trust you got a lot of great information and gained valuable insight from this real coaching conversation that you can use to help you in your romantic life. It's why this podcast exists and why there are several episodes that I choose to bring to you in their entirety, like this one. But you may not know that 98% of Make Him Wonder episodes are only partially available on YouTube and podcast listening platforms. And because I don't want you to miss out on getting the results you desire, I invite you to check out the 80/20 Wonder Club, an exclusive membership-only club of the Make Him Wonder podcast, where you get each episode in its entirety ad-free. Over 150 episodes with a real woman coming to me with a real-life love situation like you just heard, all categorized by age and relationship status, so you can choose episodes that pertain to your unique situation. Categories of 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, getting an ex back, situationships, dating divorced, older women, younger men, and so much more. Plus, all new episodes the moment they're formatted and ready to be aired. No waiting for partial episodes to drop here on YouTube or your podcast listening platform. The 80/20 Wonder Club also includes my Making Magic with Men Mindset Manual, a weekly video series of mindset and mechanics practices for you to do at your own pace each and every week. Join the club monthly and cancel at any time, or save by committing to a 6 or 12-month membership. And not only will you save by committing to more, you'll receive a full coaching intensive experience where you'll be talking to me personally. You choose the date anytime during your 12 months, and I'll be answering all your questions on getting what you want with the man you want. Don't miss out on how to make your man wonder in the right way to have the results you desire and deserve. Go now to the 8020wonder.club. That's THE8020wonder.club. You and your love will be glad you did.